Today is the day that we head back into town to see Aiden and see what he's come up with manufacturing new wheels for our passerelle in his magic workshop. Good Aiden.
Günaydın.
Very good. You?
Okay.
So the passerelle?
Passerelle.
It's good.
This only this my madam.
Yes.
Workshop only rollers.
Yes.
This,
İnanmadı bana.
He doesn't listen to you.
only rollers.
Yes, only to change the rollers, yes.
Tomorrow afternoon.
Tomorrow afternoon.
Okay.
Okay. Look at this shiny
look at
new
the
wheels. Look at those.
He's a clever man.
Aren't they fantastic?
It's okay. It's okay.
How much?
Complete 200. Really.
Okay.
This.
Yep.
This very good.
Let's see if I got enough here.
I might have some.
50, 70, 90, 110, 130, 50, 70, 190, 200.
No?
Okay.
Super. Görüşürüz.
Görüşürüz. Bye bye.
Okay, see you tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye. All right. Let's get our toys home and get dinner on the go.
The alarm went off bright and early at 5:30 a.m. on Wednesday morning because that was the day that Baz and I were catching the bus to Fethiye so that we could pick up my phone, which was in the hospital there being fixed, and also get some bacon.
So it's 22 lira per person to go to Fethiye, and it should take something like 2 to 2.5 hours. So that's $5 each. It's not bad.
Pretty good.
Yeah. It's still dark outside. It'll be light by the time we get there, hopefully.
Nice bus though, isn't
Very
it?
nice.
Denizli, Sparta. Günaydın.
Aiden.
How are you?
Good.
Nice to see you. İyiyim, teşekkür ederim.
Right, well we're here. That took 2 hours and 22 minutes. We made a few stops along the way, so now we're going to go to find the phone shop and hopefully pick up the fixed phone. When we arrived in Fethiye, we had a little bit of a walk from the coach station to the phone technician.
A lot of this water that's rushing through this viaduct, I suppose you'd call it, is probably from the rains, but we also noticed on the way that up on the higher mountains there is snow at high elevations.
We took 2 phones into the phone technician while we were in Fethiye. Both of them needed new screens. One of them was easy to replace and we picked that up the next day. But my phone, because it is a Samsung Galaxy Edge, meant that he needed to order in the specialised screen. There's a fairly long back history with the phone. Basically, we had to leave it in Fethiye because the screen didn't arrive when he thought that it would. We'd already paid the guy to have the phone fixed, so we decided to trust that it would all be okay and came to cash because we had to catch a good sailing weather window. So we waited for over 5 weeks, and despite several emails and phone calls to the phone guy, he didn't send the phone back to me as we had asked him to. So Wednesday was the day that we were going to get the phone back. I was a bit thrown because he wasn't there. In fact, there was a whole different crew there. Well, that was disappointing, although not totally unexpected. Luckily, they had Google Translate on their computer, and we were able to discuss the fact that while they have replaced the screen, there is another technical problem, and you can see that because the screen, it still flashes. So I've chosen to take the phone back with me to Cash to have it repaired there. It was a different person that I saw today, and she was very apologetic, so we could have saved a lot of time and effort if they just put that into an email, and then we could have collected the phone earlier and I could have used the phone sooner. It's one of those things, it's a learning curve. Alright, so I'm ready for breakfast. So after a quick snack for breakfast, we set out to find the place that would fill our bacon dreams. It wasn't the easiest shop to find. What you doing, Baz?
Trying to find the exact location of the butcher that specialises in the pork products. I know it's somewhere down this end of town, so we brought our internet with us today, and we're going to just Google it and let the phone tell us how close we are to our objective, or not.
Well, our journey for the pork butcher is proving a tad difficult. We're going round in circles, and Google search says either be there or it's there. So one more look and then I think it's back home.
Yeah.
Well, after one more try, we thought we'll just come into this little place and just see, because this is marked as to where the pork butcher is, even though it doesn't say anything about pork on the sign, and it's the right place. Who'd have thought?
Well, I think we now qualify for honorary Canadian citizenship, because we've walked half of Fethiye just to buy some bacon. We also indulged in some sausages at the same time. We walked past the place twice because it didn't look anything like a butcher's. And when we finally went inside, the lady said that apparently because of the economy had had a downturn in Turkey, they'd actually doubled up what their business does, and they've turned it into a little mini supermarket as well.
Yeah.
What are you barking at? Yeah, I know, I can see you.
I know, you can smell our bacon, can't you?
Yeah, bacon. Dog wants bacon. Looks like a bacon dog, doesn't he?
Any meat will do, thanks.
Any meat will do, yeah.
We got to the bus station just in time to catch the 12:15 bus. Just a quick follow-up story on the phone. I took my phone up to the phone hospital in Cash, and the guy had a look at it. And yes, it did have more problems that needed fixing. It wasn't going to be a cheap fix. So what I ended up doing, for the same price as the phone would have cost to be fixed, I bought myself a reconditioned Samsung Galaxy, and it's in excellent condition. So I'm very happy. I've got a phone that does everything that I want it to do, plus it doesn't have the curved edge, which means that I can put it into a phone mount and carry it around with me easily, which was actually an issue that I was having with my old phone. So everything's turned out really well. Plus we had a story to tell.
What I'm finding with most jobs on the boat is that something that I think is going to be quite simple usually turns out to be bigger than Ben-Hur. And this job is no different. I thought I was just going to take out the non-stainless steel bolt, clean up the rust and replace the bolt with a stainless steel bolt. But no, it seems that the rust has been going on for quite some time, and as you can see here, all of the metal around the bolt hole is badly corroded. Now, we could probably get away with this for another year, but seeing as we're in Turkey where it's relatively inexpensive to get things done, I'm going to strip this down and take it up to our magic mechanic Aydin and see if he can help us out with getting this stainless steel reinforced or replaced. Once again, the magic mechanic Aydin has come up with the goods and done a great repair on the bracket on the swim ladder. But before I do put it back together, I'll get some rust remover on there and have a go at it with a toothbrush just to clean it up, as was suggested by one of our followers on YouTube. Thank you very much for that tip. And then we'll get this thing put back together, and that's another job we can tick off the list. I love ticking things off lists. Now, because Aydin's made this a lot thicker than it originally was, the bolt that goes through here is a little bit short, so I'm just going to temporarily put this together for now, make sure it all fits and works okay, and then tomorrow when the shop's open again, we'll take this bolt out and replace it with a slightly longer one. And I deliberately didn't put the washer on there because there's so little purchase, I didn't want the extra space, but I will put the washer on when I replace that bolt tomorrow. One of the reasons why this was rusting so much is because when the swim ladder goes into the water, this whole section here actually fills up with salt water and it doesn't really drain out well. So I also got Aydin to put in a couple of drain holes here and here, which means that when we do pull it up, we can drain all the salt water out and make sure it's as dry as possible for storage. And there she is, a very serviceable swim ladder for a good many years to come. With a bunch of my tools now taking over most of the galley space, the time has come to finally fix these extinguishers into place in the berths. In both of the aft cabins we haven't really got a lot of choice as to where we can mount the fire extinguishers, so this bulkhead here, which leads into the engine compartment, is probably going to be the best spot. And we've decided we're going to mount them just about here so that they're out of the way as much as possible. So there we go, that's one done, and I'll do the same in the other aft berth, and then we'll go forward to the Princess Suite and mount the fire extinguisher there, which is slightly more involved because we've got to get under the bed and remove some of the wood from beneath the mattress to be able to tighten up the nuts and bolts. But I'm happy with that. Well, the Princess Suite's not looking very princessy at the moment. It's looking more like a bomb site. And the reason for that is because where we're going to mount the fire extinguisher in here, getting access to the back end so I can tighten up the nuts and the washer is a little bit difficult. Let's have a look. So here at the base of the bed is pretty much the only position in the cabin that's suitable for mounting the fire extinguisher. Don't really want to mount it on here. We want to get it tucked out of the way as much as possible. It would also be pretty impossible to mount it here because, again, these are our stainless steel water tanks and they not going to allow us any access to the back. So this section here where we are going to mount it, the only access to the back is through here. Now I've got to get in here and take this wooden panel off so I can get access to the back end there. So it's a bit more complicated than it was in the aft berths, but we're getting there. Well, as you can see, this one was a little bit more involved than the other two, but it's in, it's done, and now all I got to do is put the princess suite back together before the princess finds out.
Join us next week on Sailing ABC as we finally enjoy a sunny day and get to explore the ancient amphitheatre and the ruins of the Hellenistic temple, plus much more. If you're new here, do consider subscribing so you don't miss out on any future Sailing ABC videos. And don't forget to leave a comment because we love to hear from you.